language translation has always been considered impossible. Challenging that belief, here is Mark Tapling from Language Weaver.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be here with you this afternoon, and over the next 10 minutes I'll have the enjoyment of sharing with you a business model and a technology capability that most of the world does think is impossible. With me to launch the application is our Director of Corporate Marketing, Hannah Gropp, and with Hannah's launch, we'll get started. Language Weaver since 2002 has been building out a suite of statistical engines that are capable of translating human languages at incredibly high speeds. What's very unique is the quality that we can deliver in this regard. So introspectively, we thought we'd start by talking a little bit about our own industry. Over the past year, what we've been doing is investigating what's happening in travel at a macro level. And it's a paradox of opportunity where we have flattening borders and travelers who want to move, and they're troubled with a troubled economy and a weak dollar and weak currency around the world. Interestingly, it's a consistently oligopoly market forming. On average, the top 5 sites attract 200 million unique visitors a month. Now, interestingly, of those, 65% are going directly to the suppliers themselves. The additional 35% are using aggregators looking for higher value-add experience in regards to how they choose their travel destination. Now, if you rolled all that up, unique travel site visitors are up 3%, so that's encouraging, and I was encouraging to see from the survey that many of your businesses are actually growing this year. But the market as a whole, online travel spending's down. So where's the gap? The gap is in customer satisfaction. In the total population of users in the travel space on the internet, 50% of them are not satisfied with the experience that they've received trying to engage in a personalized travel experience. I think we've seen some wonderful applications here today, but we're still missing, and hopefully these innovators today will help solve that problem. Today's traveler is more self-sufficient than ever before. With that independence comes a desire and a capability to be able to spend when and where they choose. Users now pick the destination. They pick their mode of transportation. They pick the place where they stay. They pick their ground transportation, and then they choose their entertainment venues when they arrive. It's no longer a third-party transaction. This is personal. In fact, so personal that many users will jump onto the internet even while they're still traveling to be able to share their experience with family and friends and colleagues about this self-directed trip that they put together for themselves. Now, in order to gain alignment with that customer, it's critical that we understand that they have a process too. First, they need to investigate, then they need to evaluate, and then they're prepared to purchase. In the digital space, over the internet, it's all about the content. Information for that user has time-critical value. Putting it in their language helps tremendously. You may have a single user who's in multiple phases in the cycle. One trip is early on, the other trip is later. So you have to have information across the whole spectrum of their requirement. The information that you serve up then must be actionable. In many cases, information not served in the local language is not perceived as actionable. And in our business and travel, we know that we trade on the fluency. We trade on new news. There's always something happening. And in that regard, your customers often visit your site mainly to find out what's new. So if we delve into the minds of what's happening into this troubled, complex consumer who represents a tremendous market, fundamentally, they just simply want to be respected. Give me something more one-on-one. Respect my economic vote. Money's hard to come by. Respect my time. That's hard to come by. When you communicate with me, give me authentic communications in a language that I understand. And when I make a request for response, please respond. Just respect my contribution to your environment. So what Language Weaver does to enable alignment of your customer's customer with you is we make content available in multiple languages. Reciprocally, we make that content findable in native language searches. And then finally, we enable conversations between you and your customer and across your customers as a peer group. So for your customer, we offer translations available on demand for a wide variety of languages in the content and the native languages they expect. For the content provider, we offer simple, integrated translation capability to take your monolingual site and make it a multilingual site. And for the industry, we offer TrustScore. TrustScore is the industry's first statistical algorithm capable of predicting quality for a human translation output. A simple scale of 1 to 5, 5 is great, 1 is poor, enables the customer to know what they have. So let's look at a real live application. Here's a great site that captures user-generated content for hotel reviews and stays. Customers make these contributions primarily in English as the starting point. And this site now literally has millions and millions of user-generated content contributions. With a desire to enter local markets in local languages, an evaluation was made of whether or not it was feasible to use human translators to translate that content. Was not. Enter Language Weaver, you drive or we drive. Here's an internet application that enables a self-directed multilingual communication strategy. You pick the content type. We train domains to understand the lexicon of that business. So our translators understand travel. You pick language types. How many different language pairs? And most importantly, you pick TrustScore. You pick the confidence on a sliding scale that you want these translations to achieve, and the translations will be ranked and delivered to you in a quality disposed fashion. So armed with the confidence of TrustScore, now we're ready to launch a sample transaction. I simply click on the button, and no different than synchronizing my email, I populate the fields. I click Start. The translation moves off, hits our SaaS backbone network, literally in a matter of seconds, translating in hundreds of thousands of words per minute. We deliver quality ranked translations back to you. So 3,000 translations, quality ranked, distributed by language, determine which ones are appropriate to publish to the site based on the quality that you chose. The others can be disposed to humans to be post-edited, and some returned to be retranslated. So what's the effect? Native search, native response, native content. For the German user, local language search, local language response, local language content. So let's take another scenario where we take an organization that's already invested in some technology to communicate with their customers. Here's a popular application in the CRM space called RightNow. This is the agent desktop, which enables the population of problem-solution pairs or question-answer pairs to be published to the internet. In this case, we're going to answer a question about sales tax. Now, you'll notice that Language Weaver has enabled all of the appropriate fields which need to be considered to make this a real multilingual site. So we choose the question on sales tax, and then we move and hit the translate button. So push button operation. Once done, we're delivered a drop-down menu that enables us to choose from new language pairs, from previously defined groups of languages, in case this is a regional operation and we always want to translate to multiple languages concurrently. And then finally, since I'm a monolingual speaker, I never make a translation without enabling TrustScore. With TrustScore enabled, I now know I can have the confidence to translate these outputs, and I know exactly how good they will be perceived by native speakers in the language. I can now feel confident to start the translation. This translation leaves the RightNow client. It goes back across the internet, hits our SaaS backbone, several 100,000 words per minute. We return it, comes transparently right back into the application. First thing I do is I look at the score. Score's great. I'm feeling great. Now that I know that I have confidence that, in fact, I've delivered a good translation, I open up the article to make sure that the visual alignment's correct. First the summary, then I look at the question, then I click at the answer, and I look at the total alignment of the total solution. In just that small amount of time, you've moved your business from being a multilingual content provider in the travel space to a multilingual communications player in your industry. So we save this, and now we have an opportunity to see a drop-down menu turn up, it posts to the internet, and this language content is now delivered. So as opposed to Google or other free translation opportunities, Language Weaver offers trusted content, domain-trained, quality-ranked, confidential handling in a SaaS-based environment. So in this regard, our customers are thrilled with the outputs, and we're thrilled with our ability to help the way that the travel industry accelerates communication. Thanks for a great audience. We appreciate your support.
Mark Tapling, Language Weaver.